Good afternoon. This is Jeff Finn. In case you didn't get the message, which looks like a couple of you might not have, we have made an adjustment to the program this afternoon, and we were finding that the way the sessions were stacked last year, back to back to back with the three sessions was tight and began to create some overlap and challenge. So we've made an adjustment that this session will actually start at 3:30 Eastern, 2:30 Central, and 12:30 on the West Coast. So we're depending on where you're at. We are a half hour away from the start. So you can hang in and just keep this in the background if you want, or you can log out and log back in. I'm sorry if you didn't get the updated notification that the times had changed for the start. But what we're doing is actually consolidating the two sessions that had been scheduled for this afternoon, the coaching and use case, into one longer block. So it'll be a 90-minute session from 2:30 to 4 Central, and we'll cover both topics without having to switch between the two sessions. So apologize for any inconvenience, and we'll see you back at 3:30 Eastern. It looks like a couple of new people have joined in, and just to reiterate, there was a notice sent out, and if you didn't get it, I apologize, but there was a notice sent out that this session will actually start at 3:30 Eastern time today instead of 3 o'clock, to give a break between the first two between the getting started and the coaching session. And also, we are consolidating the coaching and use case into one 90-minute session rather than the two 1 hour sessions that we had originally scheduled, but learned through the several weeks that we rolled this out last year that the end of the year, that this will be a better format to have one consolidated session. So you can hang in if you want in the background, or disconnect and come back in at the bottom of the hour here, 3:30 coming up Eastern time. Susan, thanks for joining. We let everyone know that the session will actually be starting at 3:30. We had made a change and you should have received a notification. It may have gotten caught in your spam or otherwise, but the session will start in about 20 minutes. So you can hang on here or disconnect and come back. But we appreciate you being here. We've actually consolidated the two sessions this afternoon, the coaching and use case. So we'll have a 2:30 to 4 o'clock, I'm sorry, 3:30 to 5 o'clock Eastern session that'll combine the coaching and use case rather than the two sessions running back to back. Perfect, thanks. Welcome in, Greg and Sadhu. Didn't know if you were there. We had delayed the start of this and had sent a notification out at the top of the hour. If you didn't get it, I apologize, but we will be starting in just 10 minutes. So we pushed this start back till 3:30 Eastern time. And going forward, it'll be a 3:30 to 5 o'clock Eastern time call for the combined coaching and user group. So rather than the two sessions that we were running and had scheduled back to back, we've combined them into one longer block. So hopefully that works for you. And if you can just hang out here for a bit, we'll be ready to get started in a few minutes, or you can check out and check back in either way. Look forward to seeing you at 3:30. Thanks everyone who's joined. Some of you have already received the message and others are just coming in. The CRE Marketing Hub session will start at 3:30, so just in 5 minutes. So we have changed the calendar in the new year to start at 2:30, I'm sorry, 2:30 Central, 3:30 Eastern, and to run for 90 minutes. So rather than having the 1 hour coaching and 1 hour use case going back to back, we've combined the coaching and use case sessions to 90 minutes, 3:30 to 5 o'clock Eastern. So hang tight, be ready to join in just a few minutes.
Jeff.
I am here. We are live, Mark. There's been a number of people that we've advised that will be starting in just a few minutes. So I've let them know they should be coming back on. They checked out and we'll check back in. So a number of people are here early, but some will be coming back. So we will kick off in just a couple minutes. But we are live with the small group that is already in queue. So if you had anything you wanted to share in advance, you can. Otherwise, we'll wait until the official start. All right, so we'll get started now. Apologize. I know some of you got the message, some of you didn't, so apologize for some that did not get the message and joined earlier, but we are ready to roll now. And as mentioned, going forward, we will be starting at this time, the 3:30 time slot with the combined coaching and use case session, and we'll run for 90 minutes, 3:30 to 5 o'clock. So welcome to the CRE Marketing Hub combined coaching use case session. I look forward to sharing with you some best practices and different new tools and techniques that we've been sharing over the past couple of weeks or since the last session, and look forward to hearing from you with your specific challenges that you'd like to have us work through with you as time permits. So Mark, I'll let you take it away, and we will monitor questions in the box, but I'll also open up the mics, a little bit larger group today, so moderate. But if you have a question, maybe raise your hand and I can moderate that. That's okay. If we have a challenge with it, I'll mute people, but I'll open it up. And if you just have any local noise.
Can everybody hear me? I've tried to unmute all of you. If someone can unmute on your side, let me know if you can hear me. Jeff Fisher? or Aziz,
I will unmute. It doesn't look like that worked, Mark. So let me unmute everybody.
Hank.
Mark,
I'm
there's still,
here.
oh, there we go. Okay,
Yeah, I can hear you.
perfect.
Loud and clear with
That worked,
Patrick.
Mark.
Yeah, Jeff Fisher, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Happy New Year, everybody. Adam, nice to see you joining. April, Aziz, Bill, Alicia, Greg. I'm going to give
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
everybody ready to have the best year in business you've ever had.
Yes.
Amen.
All right. So let's get started with a couple ideas. So after the first cycle of these that we did, we decided, because there was some congruency of sharing use case with kind of the coaching all blended together. So we consolidated the last two sessions into one block. And thematically, I was thinking, what is the one thing that I could focus on that could change the outcome the year for everybody? And what I came up with, and was actually working with a number of clients on this week. So if I were to ask Brenda, how many listings do you have right now? Active listings? Anybody raise your hand and shout out. Just tell me, do you have 10, you have 15, you have 1? How many listings does somebody have?
Patrick, Sam.
10 listings. And are there any listings in the mix there that have been long in the tooth? Or how many of you have had listings that you pulled recently or been pulled recently? And there's a number of you that have been using the Siri Marketing Hub mentor to go in a new listing, and they get that listing and they're putting their marketing plan. But what I've encountered is most have not gone back and done an analysis against their existing listings. And so number one recommendation that I have is to go back to all of your listings and reanalyze them using the platform to see what you could change, what would improve your prospecting, what would improve the convertibility of that deal to get paid now. And the first handful that I went through have made a huge difference for the ones that we've gone through that process with. The second thing is analyzing your business. What are you currently doing versus what's going on in the market, and coming up with a new refined business plan that's going to tune and make all of you more productive. Does that sound like two things that I could focus on today that would make all of you happy? Is there anything else? Put it into the chat. Is there anything else you'd like to see me focus on to increase the value of this call today for you? And I'll monitor the chat with Jeff and company to make sure I can accomplish that. And there was one person on the previous call. And Hank Babin, you're on this call, I hope. I think I saw his name somewhere.
Hank is here. Yep.
Hank, may I use you as a...
Well, you got to get this out of the way, baby. I'm on call.
He muted off. Hank, may I use you as a demonstration case today for what can be done on the planning? Are you willing to be a huckleberry?
He's unmuted, Mark, but not coming through, so I'm not sure if he's available. Might have.
Okay. So I always like to ask permission first, but let's start with a listing review. So I tried to get the new advanced version of my CRE Mentor Pro done for release today. It's going to be early next week before it gets out. So I'm going to show you the analysis. You'll still get good analysis from CRE Mentor Pro, but you're going to see some things that I added that will be pretty exciting for you, I think. Let me pull this in. Okay. And this is for illustrative purposes. I also have the ability to take, if you have one of your own listings and you want to just give me the address of that particular listing, we can put it through the process here and just do a live analysis of that property. Here, this is a property in Canada, 36 to 38 Ellen Street, Barrie, Ontario, California. And just putting the address in as the initial prompt, what I'm looking for is to see what information is going to come back on that and what type of snapshot. Highest and best use, early thoughts. It's starting to look at the positioning around that asset. And you can look and say, gosh, how have I positioned it versus what this is showing me? Valuation and investment angle, high level. That's going to be important in terms of how you're pricing it in the market and defensibility of that pricing during the sales process. It'll give additional thoughts and direction on what I'd analyze next to dial this in properly. So it's giving you some hints here, the next prompt. And you'll see that from all the above, I just said, I'm looking at this property for listing it, valuing it for a client, and exploring redevelopment. And this is what came back from it. Perfect. That's actually the ideal use case for this asset. When you're listing and valuing, exploring redevelopment, the trick is to frame the property as a current income asset with a future optionality that widens your buyer pool and protects pricing. And let's take a look. So recommendations on positioning: a stabilized downtown asset with waterfront adjacent redevelopment upside. This allows you to attract this segment of buyers. Now, the messaging that you put out as you're looking at any of your existing listing, how did you position it? What are you excluding by the way that you've positioned it, that if changed opens it up to that broader set? And one size doesn't fit all. You can't be afraid to have multiple tracks of messaging and positioning to get the reach of buyers. Valuation framework, how I'd defend the value. You should prepare 3 values, not one. This gives your client confidence and helps manage buyer negotiations. As is income value floor price. So this is going to give me the bottom collar. Used for conservative investors, lenders, and appraisal support. Stabilized NOI. Market supported cap rate for downtown Barrie mixed use commercial. Value add, reposition value. Used for renovation minded buyers, investors chasing yield compression. Assumptions might include lease up to market rents, cosmetic upgrades, improved tenant mix. This is where you justify price tension above pure cap rate math. Redevelopment, land value upside. Used for developers, strategic investors, long-term holders. method: residual land value, density-based underwriting, zoning-driven yield analysis, redevelopment angle without scaring buyers. Now, a number of you would naturally be saying, well, gosh, Mark, I know a lot of this, but what I'm hoping you're seeing is maybe the things that you did not see. Remember, one of the huge values of AI is you have all the data of the world that's now at your fingertips, all the best practices and wisdom of the world at your fingertips. It's how do you bring it back in and harness it to hone what you're doing, and not in a way that's overwhelming. But it also is important for you to recognize, it was important for me to recognize that I have tremendous global experience, 20 years plus of experience in the commercial real estate industry. I've worked with the best of the best, but I don't know it all. And in fact, what I notice in myself is this pattern of once I have figured something out or had success on a particular way of doing something, I naturally just gravitate, do this again, and I stop looking for better ways to advance sometimes. And what this has unlocked for me is it opens it back up to more effective ways than I could come up with on my own. And I had to put my ego aside first and say, okay, I don't know it all, and how's this going to change my effectiveness? And I have found it's been transformative. The redevelopment angle, highest and best use. The property's highest and best use is its current income producing configuration with long-term potential for development or intensification consistent with downtown Barrie planning and objectives. The sentence does not, the sentence does a lot of heavy lifting and valuation conversations. Listing marketing copy, draft and broker ready. Here's a clean, adaptable version you can use. 3638, Ellen offers investors, owners, users rare opportunity to acquire a centrally located downtown Barrie asset steps from, and so we can tighten this. So it's generating these descriptive elements that are really helping with that positioning. I'd like to say I have a creative mind, but I do not. And I can think about all day long ways to come up with creative concepts and ideas, but this is just so effective. Buyer personas you should explicitly target. And so it's identifying the segment that my prospects could come from if I embrace the ideas that are above. And then what I'd ask you for next, pricing range, defensible valuation narrative, redevelopment talking sheet. What they need to do that is building size, the descriptive elements and other financial metrics. And then we come down to here. So if I upload a rent roll, that's going to give me the core data and other property descriptive info. It's going to give me the ability to generate that next stage. So I did that. Great. This is solid data, and it actually puts you in a strong position to price, defend value, and credibly tee up redevelopment without over-promising. And the effect of that is material in terms of the price side. I'm going to break this down exactly how I'd prep for this valuation conversation with the client, getting them on side. So many brokers today are carrying listings that are just burning holes in their pockets that they're not going to close because of that bid-ask gap between the client's expectations and the market. This is an extremely important process to be able to sit down, get them on side, and or to tactically agree on what to do to get to their target value so that you have a conversion probability. A pricing strategy for the market, a redevelopment discussion with sophisticated buyers. What the data is telling us, quick snapshot, current income, bing, 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 bing. And you say, what, where, I'd love to just be able to upload my spreadsheet and have it generate these outcomes. As is, value your pricing floor, conservative buyer, core value add buyer, implied values cap rate, immediately validates 4 million as one collar. Why buyers will pay more than cap rate math? Key upside signals in the rent roll. Commercial rents are well below replacement cost. Multiple leases rolling here. Not near-term risk. Residential units are month to month, instantly flexible. Vacancy and turnover assumptions in the pro forma are conservative. What it's arming you with is the ability to deal with challenges or questions to the value expectation, and with solid creditable responses. Value add and reposition value, the quiet upside. Stabilized rents grow to here. As expenses remain controlled under new management, NOI pushes into here. Stabilized value 4.2. Increases value that to 5.5. This is where Toronto investors, family offices, experienced Barry buyers start leaning in. Redevelopment narrative without overselling. You do not market this as a development site. You market it as an income today and density tomorrow. What the property already has going for it: downtown Barrie location, mixed use zoning, multiple parcels assembled, low rise improvements relative to land value. How you say it. The property offers long-term redevelopment intensification potential, subject to municipal approvals, and one of Barrie's most supply-constrained downtown corridors. Again, if you're following the progression, it's giving you the positioning language, messaging language for each of those different segments that you would be targeting to. Recommended listing strategy. This is key. Do not list at cap rate value. If you list this at 3,942, you'll attract only yield buyers, leave redevelopment money on the table. Smart pricing band here. Why this works: still defensible on future NOI, captures option value, forces serious buyers to engage, not lowball. You can always justify down, never justify up. Buyer types you should explicitly market to. This is not a CoStar blast asset. You want to target Toronto private capital, Barrie and Simcoe developers, value add investors, and land bankers. How I'd frame this to your client: on an as-is basis, the property roughly supports roughly a low $4 million valuation. However, given the income growth already in place, lease rollover profile, and downtown land characteristics, the market will likely price this closer to the future value than the current NOI. We recommend testing the market closer to 5 million to capture redevelopment and intensification optionality. That's defensible. Next step, let's tighten this for the go-to-market. If you want, and I'm going to say yes, all the above, draft a one-page investment highlight sheet, create a developer-friendly executive summary, pressure test buyer objections before they happen. Tell me, do you want this quietly marketed or fully exposed? Is this the client price-driven or certainty-driven? Are you open to developer outreach pre-MLS? And you've got a good asset here. The way to frame it will decide whether you get 4 million or 5 million. And so here are the outputs. Perfect. Then here's how I'd execute this end to end, as if I were sitting beside you getting this ready for market. This is the full playbook: pricing, positioning, quiet outreach, boom. Integrated listing, valuation, redevelopment strategy. And Jeff Fisher, get ready, because I want to get your reaction as the father of real estate financial engineering. I want you to be ready to either get excited or challenge anything you're seeing. Recommended list pricing. This is money call, list at, how we position, what we do, buyer strategy, quiet, public, or targeted. It lays out phase 1, weeks 1 to 2, all the way through to hopefully a very successful close. Redevelopment, and let me keep going to, and then I wanted to, the strategy refined to what's going to get me maximum price as an exclusive listing. And here's the playbook. Pricing strategy, aggressive but smart. It's not arbitrary. It does 3 things simultaneously. Anchors a developer math, forces income buyers to underwrite forward, leaves room to negotiate down while still winning. You're not selling at 5.2. You're creating competitive tension above 4.75. 2 buyer pools, 1 funnel. You will intentionally attract 2 different buyer types and let them pressure each other. Buyer pool 1, income value added investors. This is what they care about. Developers and land bankers. Exclusive listing, controlled auction. Because you're exclusive, you control the timing, information, and access. Quiet developer outreach, off-market invitation only, who you can call. And a number of you are probably already know where I'm going. It's like, okay, tell me, who do I need to call? How do you talk redevelopment? It's giving you all the language. Come down here. Do you want to quietly pre-market, launch publicly? I want the plans for both. And I'm going to speed forward to something because I can. Okay. Generate a lease abstract, deliver in a matrix form. When you're putting your prompt in, again, get used to the fact that you can tell it what to do in a form you need it in an exportable, usable format. And so generate a lease abstract, deliver it in matrix form, convert this into a 1-page buyer lease summary, tie it directly into a DCF cap rate, underwriting, stress test it for exit value scenarios, packages into your CRM or CIM, your offering memo. And that's what it's doing here. Residential 1-page flyer. I can copy and paste that right into RealNex proposal templates or leasing templates. Memos drafted, ready to go. And then, Mr. Fisher, what do you think? Run an Argus type analysis on this property with the lease as a background on a 20-year. Perfect. Below is a true Argus style 20-year underwriting built off your actual rent roll and expense data, structured the way an institutional buyer, lender, developer would expect to see it in CIM or IC memo.
Mark,
Now,
it's gotten pretty good at that. I actually have played around with some comparisons with an actual Argus answer and the answer I get from this, and they're virtually the same if you give the right inputs.
yeah, thank you, Jeff. So most of you know, previously I was the chairman and CEO of Argus Software that grew it up, globalized it. I sold the company a handful of years back. And I know that Argus Altus may not be happy with the fact that I can generate a full analysis in minutes without you having to go be certified and remember how to flex that platform all day long. And candidly, it's probably a little bit overkill for a lot of what you do. But when you're playing with properties that are valued 3-5 million and up, your ability to build this into your presentation and deliver that automatically elevates you above anybody else when they are considering or evaluating their options. And so I thought gosh, I want to give y'all a nice Christmas gift. And so this is partly what's slowed me down a little bit in getting this fully released. But as you heard from Jeff, I'm pretty tight with it now. And I plan on turning this on for all of you with the new pro version of CRE Mentor. As
Like I would
early
add
as-
that the other nice thing is you can have it test the reasonableness of your assumptions. So I mean, your answers are only as good as your assumptions, and it'll actually compare your assumptions with what's in the market and give you some advice as to whether you think you're, too optimistic or too pessimistic.
Yeah. You're going to have a lot of fun with this. No one's going to be able to compete with what you're doing here. Operating assumptions, capital assumptions, lease driven cash flow, Argus format.
Is this prompt available to us right now?
It will be I said, I was trying to get it released for you for today. I wasn't able to do that, but if you come in Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, you're going to be able to come right in here, go to Deal Coach, and slide down, and you'll see my CRE Mentor Pro replacing this original version. And that's what I've spent a lot of time engineering the advances into that through the holiday. And Jeff Jeff Fisher's he's the guy who was everyone knows is the father of finance and analysis for real estate, and he's been putting his rigor in testing it, and you just heard his summary, his thoughts on it. So yeah, you're going to have that in your bag, and it's only going to get better. Jeff and I are going to continue to advance the capabilities. I was watching so many people coming out and they're developing AI this, AI that, and a little point here, a little point here. This should be your one-stop for everything that you need. This should be your coach, your business planning, your marketing planning, and you shouldn't have to go check another $50 subscription, another 100 here, a 5,000 subscription for Argus over there. And you should be elevated using this platform to the top of the curve in everything that you represent. If I do my job well, and I intend to, this should elevate every one of you to the top of the food chain in terms of your deliverables. And I think you're seeing that here. It's working.
It's beautiful.
I did a levered and an unlevered analysis in here in seconds.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt. I used to be a commercial real estate banker, and so I've been trained through rigorous underwriting. Like I work for a very well-known bank here in San Diego, and this is good. I'm relatively new to it's really good in terms of like, I looked at like hundreds of millions of dollars of deals a year. There isn't one broker that I can remember that came close. I haven't seen the whole thing, but in terms of scenarios for lending, is that there? Is that going to be part of it, or did I miss it?
I did this one as a quick test for you, and Sadu, if you send me an email of additional scenarios that you would like Jeff and I to confirm into the model or train into the model, I don't think there's anything we won't be able to do. And your wisdom of the additional elements that we can add to it would be so welcome.
Oh, okay. It'd be my pleasure. My pleasure. Sorry to interrupt. It'd be an honor.
April has a question as well, of converting this now into the output and creating the RealNex flyers or OMs with this type of information.
Sure.
April, got that. If you have anything else to add, please chime in.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, you've mentioned a couple of times, Mark, that we could just easily do a cut and paste from the output into a RealNex flyer or OM. And during one of our workshops, could you actually do a walkthrough of that for us?
Yeah,
Okay,
and I'll probably be able to do because I started one on the call before this. that I should be able to easily demo how easy some of that is. This
I think
one,
you could even get a downloadable spreadsheet if you want. It
yeah,
has the DCF analysis.
and I want to come back to managing the inputs and outputs because it does depend on which model you're using. If you're dealing with inputs and outputs across the spectrum, you should be using the thinking mode when you're doing all your work instead of instant, or one of the previous versions, because the more recent versions of GPT in thinking mode, they work best with spreadsheets. So on the import, they have to consume data from different formats and extract it and make it usable, structured and usable for the analytics. And also you want to make sure that you're using as a minimum the plus version of ChatGPT, not the free version, because they cap you. And on the output, when you're using thinking, that's why you see I'm so easily able to direct it. You'll see I tell it to always put it into matrix form, because that's generally going to be a presentation format. And so I'm trying to do all those things behind the scenes so you don't have to remember it, but you're also going to be sometimes going, well, I want to see it my way. And you could tell it to do that, but you should be in thinking mode all the time. And as we continue to drive our improvements and expansion of what we're doing in the background of this, I'm hoping that it'll reduce the amount of remembering you have to do. Say, how did Mark do that again, or what happened? And it's just time, and it's fast. It's not long cycles. I'm going to be improving this with Jeff and a couple others. We're going to be driving massive improvements on a week by week basis now. So how this drops into your CIM, Argus style DCF summary page. And Sepu would definitely say the assumption page is very important going into a CIM.
Mhm.
And this is right on track. Here we go. There's your executive summary. It's crafting. They can see right up front what they're into. They get the summary of the property. It's drafting it for you. Lease abstract. I still say, no matter how good this is and how many times it's accurate, I still like to look and make sure all the numbers tied out. So I still interrogate it. And the good news is we did a complete review on this and it was 100% accurate to the numbers. Section 4, exit value stress testing, sensitivity matrix, return summary, IC level, redevelopment optionality, controlled language. Here we go. Investment thesis, how this package maximizes price, works for lenders, works for institutional investors, works for developers, protects broker liability, forces buyers to underwrite forward. Final execution options. You ask for outputs, convert this into a fully formatted CIM PDF structure, create a development appendix, keep off market, build a cap stack, financing sensitivity, draft your buyer outreach email, call scripts, create a seller off review playbook. And so I told it to just, for example purposes, do 1 and 2. Deliverable 1, fully formatted, cover page, confidential disclaimer, executive summary, location overview, tenant and lease summary, Argus style DCF 20-year-old key assumptions. Ding, 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 ding. And as Jeff said, if I could challenge the assumptions and it would rerun it for those sensitivities, exit value and sensitivity, redevelopment and intensification optionality. On deliverable 2, off-market developer appendix, controlled distribution, Purpose of appendix. This appendix outlines site characteristics, strategic considerations relevant to developers and land bankers evaluating a hold and entitle or phase redevelopment. And I'm going to roll slow through some of this. I don't need to do line by line with you. And then why this combination works. Now I wanted to come back and build me the capital stack, financing, draft your buyer outreach email call scripts, create a seller offer review playbook. And here we go. Investor email, developer email, call script, seller offer playbook, rules you set before offers, no acceptance of first offer, all offers reviewed together, price versus best offer, certainty and structure matter, offer comparison matrix to use, how to push price. I want a sales comp. Now, I didn't have access to a comp database in that market in Canada at the time, so I just did a general call for it. And it further explains that, but no comprehensive traditional sold comps with price cap published data were available when I did this. But in all likelihood, you will have a comp database on your side that I could have, or you could upload, and this is what I found generally available in the market without me having to swing the bat. And you notice I always ask it to provide the normalization explanations between those and the subject property, and I get full detail. And then best prospects to buy this listing. Again, but I want to know who, right? Just like you. And here we go. It's now starting to identify the target companies, ranking by segment.
This thing is crazy. This is unbelievable.
I try. Will all of you do me a favor and go post that on LinkedIn for me so I can, get excited for this work that we're doing.
Okay, so I sorry to interrupt again, but I have to tell you. So I'm an expert in AI. I also subscribe to a lot of the fancy solutions, and I look at these for people. So people send me their decks and their analysis. So I look at like these and I do some of these for fun. Mm-hmm. This is so good because as a loan officer and working with investors, we spend time asking questions ourselves. So we would get a package, and this thing is already asking questions that we would always struggle to get answers for. And we would end up having to call the broker, call the client, and it would take deals so much longer just to get answers to questions that you already have answers in here. Like, it's amazing. And this is something you could take parts of this and hand it to a broker or a loan officer, or if you have a seller that's ready to go, or you can show this to a banker and say, hey, would you fund this? Is this something that makes sense? Give me your perspective, give me your feedback. And then theoretically you could take that feedback back and throw it in here for specific lenders. You could say, Axos Bank, this is their credit box. With this fit, like you can literally do that. You could have like a couple banks credit boxes with you, and you could run it through their little model, and then you could go to your client and say, you know, but I don't mean to go on and on, but like you're answering questions that like, you know.
Yeah, I tell you what, thank you though, because we have worked so hard on this through the holidays to be able to advance this. The original one that we got when we acquired Sierra and marketing was good, but it didn't come close to what we've engineered. And a lot of this, I give kudos to Jeff Fisher, having him as a friend, as an investment partner, as an advisor all these years. And I think he's appreciating that I did read his books. I did listen to all his instruction for 20 some years. Yeah, having that wisdom to be able to come in and provide this type of structure that can change the game for our. I have one goal: our clients win more than anybody else. I love everybody, but everyone that's on this call, I want to see you at the top, the 1% of the 1%ers winning every deal and being able to leverage this every day. I find myself in it now every day throughout the day. I downloaded the Chat GPT mobile app, and you have your subscription into RealNex or the CRE Marketing Hub. That's activated, and when you are connecting the GPT with connecting the GPT, you have that full library now available to use. You're walking around all day long, and gosh, I have a planning question, or I have this. I just go right to Mentor Pro, and client just called. I have a new problem. How do I deal with it? And it's just gold coming back, and that's the goal. Is how do we give you the ability to shorten your cycle times, get to conversion quickly at the highest optimal outcomes, whether you are doing the leasing, whether you're doing the investment side, whether you are doing the tenant rep side. That's what I know we will have accomplished our mission.
Mark, I might want to add, just in case people don't realize it, this isn't just using Chat GPT. You've just spent a ton of time adding instructions. I don't know how many files that you've added with all kinds of instructions, so that when we put in a question, we're getting the answer we want because of all those additional instructions that have been added to this.
Yeah, it's a lot of it's a lot of engineering that put into this, and so the other thing that's happening, I have over 1,000 sources that another one of our partners, Demetrius Lojotis, has been helping me compile, because again, it's making it about real estate. You have the massive open AI lake of data, and you put in a general query that you're going to get a general response back. You need commercial real estate context. You need the sentiment of the role that you're in and what you're trying to accomplish. And I wish I could say anyone could do it. I'm just lucky enough to have the best partners in the world. It's over 500 years of experience in the industry. Jeff's been through the cycles from deregulation through S&L, through the securitization, through the downturn of 2008, 9, 10, through the new cycle, and from the technology evolution from beginning to end. And Jeff Finn, built NAI Global into the international footprint. You just have so much wisdom that we're able to harness and bring into this and transfer and put it in your fingertips. But we'll keep going here.
Hey, Mark, just Maureen's has a question. She's patiently had her hand up there. So
Go ahead.
Oh, hey, Mark, how are you?
Hi, Maureen.
This is more basic, but I have some clients that might sell, but they own the property at, less than 3%. So getting somebody to change, commercial loans don't, always have a buy down like some of the residential loans do. So where in here can we put down over time, you're gonna get more equity? Like, do you have that in there? Because they're hesitant to sell because they have such a great loan rate right now.
Well, I would just put the question in. Candidly, I would just say, here's the situation. I have X client. I'm trying to compel them to sell. This is their situation. What strategies would you come back with? Try that real quick. But we can even do it.
Yeah, and Mark, I'm also thinking that they could ask for what you would be able to sell the property for if somebody could take over that below market rate loan. That would be interesting.
Because I don't have a property loaded for that right now, but we could.
I'll put one up, but it's more in residential. I'm seeing it, but people they might own 5 homes, residential ones, and want to,
Yeah, so let me come back to that. So I could put a wrapper on this, and then we'll come back and take that as an open case.
And then we'll come back to Aziz. We will come back to you in a second.
Oh,
Yeah, my question is very simple. These sessions that you're doing, Mark, they are very valuable sessions. Are you recording? Do we have access to them?
Jeff
Recording?
is managing that side of it. Jeff, do you?
Yeah, every session's recorded, so we have a library on the RealNex YouTube channel. You can go there and see a playlist of prior Theory Marketing Hub sessions. And this one will be sent out to you tomorrow. I believe it goes out within 24 hours of the session, but it'll also be posted in that YouTube channel. So if you ever need to go back to it, but you should see an email from GoToWebinar with the link to this. And if you miss a future session, if you're registered, as long as you're registered, you'll get links to those future sessions.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. And what we see here again, I want to get to the right people. And so who are they? What's interesting, here they are. These are the top firms by segment they should talk to, and it explains why. Demonstrated willingness to buy, reposition downtown mixed use. And so instead of going and do the normal conventional process, go buy a mail list, go send a blast out, hope someone spots it and comes in, the ability to, with focus, go to specific people with an asset that matches what they've expressed they're looking for, is just a more effective use of time and more certain time to close. Developers, and each segment is outlined here: civic, strategic, adjacent. It's just beautiful. And I'm going to show you now a second one I did today with someone who called, Kirk Butterfield. And again, following the strategy, go back to your existing listings first to start 2026. Let's go get those converted. Let's go win those battles. And incrementally, as new stuff comes in, you can do that. But why not see if you can improve what you're currently doing on things you have? And so this one came in, 10 Forest Falls Drive. This one is a lease deal. They're trying to lease this, right? Looks like 10, boom, 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 part of. And quick property snapshot. What this means, broker brain translation. If you're trying to market the unit, and these are all condoed. I'm the leasing agent for this property. This is what I type. I'm the leasing agent for this property. I say generate a marketing plan, identify the optimal tenant for this property that would optimize the value of the property back to its principal. So Maureen, what you see, I just hit the microphone down here, and I'm just thinking with all the distractions in my mind, what do I need it to do? That's what came out of my mouth. And it takes it confirms. So I could see, got it. If your goal is to maximize value back to the principal, you're really solving for stabilized NOI plus lower perceived risk, which improves cap rate valuation with a 25,000 square foot, 2-story Class B professional building with strong access, marketing, ding, ding, ding. Now, what I just did there is also great for trying to, if I'm doing leasing and I'm trying to win representation opportunities, to taking somebody's existing property and the stack of tenancy and vacancy that's in it and asking it to analyze that and come back with a lease optimization plan and in presentation form, so that when you walk into that principal, here's how I would attack improving the value of your property and changes in the type of tenant mix that I'd go to. It does that work for you. Optimal tenant to maximize value in this one particular unit. Best anchor profile, highest impact on valuation. A credit quality outpatient healthcare specialty clinic group. The one thing that's still growing in the office segment is healthcare. A lot of people trying to figure out, how do I get good at that? Why is this the best value tenant? Medical office is the tightest demand segment locally. That translates to lower downtime risk, stronger investor confidence, typically longer lease terms, lower default risk, stickier tenancy. You can structure leases to be. Can you imagine you're sitting down with the principal and saying, this is why you need to hire me to do this work for you. This is what I'm going to be doing. Best fit. And they're not going to debate with you on commission rates at this point. They know you're the person. Best fit medical uses, behavioral health, physical therapy, primary care, audiology. Best supporting tenants to complete the mix and reduce churn. Positioning strategy. Brand the asset as a health and professional service center, not office space. I still see a lot of people making this, I don't want to call it a mistake because it still works, but I think changing the positioning makes a huge difference. Marketing plan, built to drive qualified tours, better terms. Market the product as tour ready, weeks 1 and 2. So it's giving you your timelines, your KPIs, what you're going to be doing each week. Demand generation. Now, here's where the rubber hits the road for me. Generate a list of ideal prospects matching the profile that you define. Put this into a matrix, add the contact person, name and phone number with email if possible. Leverage LinkedIn, local news sources, journals, and national news sources regarding the segment. Look for any information that suggests or identifies who is in expansion mode that may be a fit for this property. I know that's what all of you would be doing. And so let's take a look 5 minutes later, 5 minutes, 50 seconds later. Absolutely, here's target prospect mix. And let me get this over. This is what I've heard all of you are trying to do. Get a prospect list, a high probable, high conversion prospect list together, ranked from 1 and descending with phone number in hand and where it found it from. So it's got the reference. How many of you are tired of all the skip tracing work that you have to do? Clear Choice, Maine Health System, Intermed, Northern Light, and this 5 minutes and 50 seconds worth of work. Who's most likely to be in expansion mode? And if we come back and look, I should have done this too. It's got the rationalization for each of these. Urgent care, growing primary care, strong credit-like profile, typically longer leases than indie docs. Opened, announced, they've already opened and announced advanced primary care clinic in Bangor and continues adding sites, growth investment, supporting expansion strategy. Clear Choice, company describes itself, boom. I just want to pause for a second. How are we doing with this? Who's most likely to be in expansion mode and fit your building best? Yeah.
May I make a small input?
Sure. Make a big one.
So I think again, this is unbelievable. It only gets better the more you scroll. But I do want to caveat one of the things that I encourage. This is like you could spend like a whole afternoon just as a broker, just sitting down and going through this. It is before you present it, it's important that you understand, you feel comfortable with the information in it, because it is so good that I think my clients in the past would actually ask me about this stuff. So if you present this, even some sophisticated investors, they may go, wait, what does this mean? So it's important that you not to there's like what you could have as the back office information that you have for your understanding, but you may not want to show a good chunk of this until you have not just a mastery, but like that you feel comfortable being able to answer questions about it, because this is wonderful information, and a lot of buyers will want to learn from you as a consultant and an advisor. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like, this positions you as not someone that just does a transaction, but like a consultant advisor. And when I was a fund manager, and when I was at the bank, there was such a big difference between brokers who just like want to get a deal done and that didn't like think, to the ones that like were consultants and did thinking. We recommended tons of business to those agents from a bank. And as an asset manager, talking to other asset managers, I would frequently recommend, the people like that. So not to go on and on, but make sure you have a good understanding before
That's wise. That is extremely wise guidance. And one of the things supporting what you said, that's why you see, I'm trying to figure out more and more how to tune it where it discriminates. You shouldn't show this part to the client. This is what is for client consumption. This is what you have behind it for you.
Exactly.
You would never put the prospect list in there.
Right. But you might add that you can always say, give me a high level report that summarizes the following, and you can even say how many pages you want and how simple you want it.
Yeah.
And one of the things you could do, which I think you could do like you could do and I've done this with my prompts, is that you do it, present this information for like my first meeting, right? So here's just the one I want to do when I first meeting or my first phone call with the client. You kind of do it that way. And then you can also have information. Here is what the only information that I would have for a loan officer, or, and then here's information that I would have post meeting for more detail, or like you could, or if you're dealing with an asset manager, right? So an asset manager or someone buys portfolios, you may want to tweak, you may want to have a prompt that says, please put together information just for a portfolio or asset manager. Because they may not be interested at all in the financing part, because they probably have that covered. They know. So like kind of like a roles-based output would be
great recommendation.
Yeah.
I do it naturally once I've done the build. I know that.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah.
The slice uses, but like here I got to the end and you see generate a downloadable PDF lease brochure for this property. 3 minutes, 30 seconds later, I click, here it is, and bam. Now, if I had my branding up there and my colors, it would have automatically generated. I could have chose which photos, but this is what I did in seconds. And it's the same thing that you're suggesting.
You know what you could do also? You could have it generate a prompt. So like for you have this right here, like the PDF, you could have it generate a prompt for Canva, right?
Yes.
So, and then, so you can say at the end, make a prompt for Canva. It does a prompt in the bottom. You have the PDF, and then you could put that through Canva, and Canva like can just, you upload your pictures, and then you literally have all your documents. Because you're never going to write a prompt as good as, change to Canva, but like, or like to just a graphic, someone does graphic design for you, say, here, can you take this and put this in? I've done this before where you're like, make it design direction for a graphic designer, and then you just,
Yep.
here. Oof. I'm
Yeah,
sorry
so
I talk a lot. It's
so let
amazing.
me park this for a second.
Mark,
And I'm gonna
just,
show
just
you
before
one
you
more.
go, just before you do, because it's right on with this last subject. The question is about the getting the branding in. So that little plus sign in that bottom left, you can upload your template or photos and your brand colors. So if you knew, whatever the hex color or whatever, just you either give an example or give it the numbers, and it would know what colors to use. If you have a format, you can upload the format. And
Yeah, next week the one half of the training session is going to be about constructing your outputs, and with branding considerations. That's going to be the part of the agenda for next week, Jeff. And I'll
Yep.
be able to show everyone that fluently. But everything that we're talking about is right on track, and we'll build it. That adds to my agenda for next week, because that's a proper output for the use and consumption of this. And I'll try to make sure to integrate that into next week's presentation. I do want to show you one more before coming back to Maureen. Let me see, where did I do it? So, business planning. So I said there's two things that if you want to change your game this year, it's looking at the assets you currently have, your current listings, and let me get hyper focused on improving that, because that's where you get paid, right? So I'm taking through some things that I would do for that. And it's as easy as starting with just the address, but additional information that you could have if you're doing investment sales would be your rent roll, so you can feed all the analytics. If you're doing leasing type work, it would be extremely helpful to you. RealNex has a great ability to generate a stacking plan, upload it, import that, and say, give me an optimized tenant mix and strategy for this property, and then go in principle by principle and say, hey, how would you like this versus what you have today? Great origination strategy. On the tenant rep, go ahead.
Where is that on RealNex?
Right here. Let me go properties.
I have a couple larger retail ground up developments.
Yeah, so I could actually, you want me, I could look at retail, but I'm going to pull up one just to make the point. I could actually,
Sure.
Property, here we go. Let me take in square two. So you can see I have my tenanting. So 28. I always have to look at it real quick, because every once in a while, this is my live database, and every once in a while, marketing or someone in sales tries to come in and take a look at it and use it in demo, and they mess something up, but it looks right. Okay, so we're going to take this, and I'm going to come over here, and let me do stacking. And show expiration. And here we go. And here's the subject info. And then what I would typically do is do a PDF. I could even do it as a Excel spreadsheet, and then just download it. And I will, did I download it? No.
And you are the broker to put all those spaces in there individually.
I did.
Okay. Okay.
Well, I have to be an example for the rest. If I'm not willing to do it,
Right.
how could I expect the clients would? And then it becomes, how do I make it easier and easier for my clients to do their stacking? And I work with one client here in Houston where he's in a period of 2 weeks, they restack every 2 years. They hired some college students to come in as interns during that summer. And within 2 weeks, they restack 1,500 properties, high dense market. And, so they have a reset in all the current tenants' vacancies. And they use the RealNex mobile app to make all that happen.
If you had a spreadsheet, could you upload it?
Yeah, I could. That's the rent roll. So I could
Yeah.
export that as a rent roll, or I could do what I'm doing here. Wait a minute. And I got to come back to this. Let me just do a new chat. I'm going to show you the way I do it when I'm not on the call with y'all. From the attached file, generate a lease optimization strategy for the subject property. I'll just stop there. I don't want to make it too sophisticated, too sexy. Let's just see what happens.
In the meantime, the question was about importing the spaces into RealNex. Yes, you can. With a spreadsheet, you can
Oh, I
import.
didn't know if it was into RealNex. Yeah, RealNex is easy. Do that all day long. And in fact, whenever you are working on projects, I've been, so many of our clients, they miss the opportunity to build that knowledge footprint. RealNex is really just a big knowledge management system, and just putting all that in. And when we get the integration done between CRE Marketing Hub and that database, the ability for you just to touch the button and light it up with all these type of outputs, it will be incredible.
And inputs, I think one of the great things is so many people get so many different PDFs, whether they're offering memos or other, to have the comps that come in from those offering memos, or the rent rolls that come in, and be able to not just have that sit in a PDF somewhere to try to retrieve, but to have it in your database.
Yeah, we want the ability to take data that you're finding on the responses and be able to pull that back into the CRM as well. Just again, get rid of all that brute force work that you have to do and just let you use your brains here. Addressing rent, square feet, inconsistency, for example. And the other thing I always do is I open this up when it's doing its processing so I can see how it's thinking. So planning lease optimization I'm looking to create a leasing strategy based on, we already have key details like tenant max, developing lease strategy. So what assumptions is it making? Crafting lease strategy, it's calculating, great. So I can see what's going into, and I think that was what Sedu was also pointing to, knowing what's behind what's going on here. You can't be lazy. This just makes you that much stronger, and it's extracted in a form you can consume it. What is the logic behind something? And so here's what's come out of that. And this was, so quick read, known occupancy. Clearly identified vacant space plus roof. Near-term rollover risk, priority expirations, tenant concentration. So imagine you're sitting with a landlord, a principal, and you're trying to win their business, and you come in armed with something like this: tenant concentration, Amity occupies multiple. So you have the strengths and weaknesses of the current mix and how you would optimize vacancy lease up plan, attack the building in the right order, create a small sweet engine, fastest absorption. How's love to get reaction, because I did this as a live unpracticed. What do you think? 25 rollover strategy, keeping occupancy, raise NOI, build a backfill plan now for any tenant that's at risk, lease structure optimization where NOI gets protected, convert a new. Anybody?
That's amazing. I think I would love to maybe next week bring my, we have an office building with so many different properties and so many different units in there.
Yeah.
For living. Yeah, I'd love to do that.
And so if you want paste or upload any operating, because I didn't bring any operating data in with this, so if I was able to do that, it makes it even better, tighter. But this is, and again, a lot of the thinking and know-how comes out of, you know, that training that we've put into the system that hopefully is going to level up and accelerate, allow you to win a lot of this business. All right, I have time for one more. Maureen, I promised you I would come back to your unique case. Do you want to describe the situation again? Maureen? Well, maybe we lost her. I can also give her a call later to deal with her use case. So why don't I just open mic? I have time for one more exploratory here.
Let me unmute Maureen. Sorry. I think there was some background noise and we got to mute.
Yeah, I don't want Maureen to be upset with me. She has been such a great fan and
No,
supporter.
that's okay. I was probably typing. I would love it if like you gave a little practice problem. Can we go on and I do much better if I try to practice it myself before you have the meeting because it sort of scrolls through and I'm like, okay. So is there, we can put it on, can we get into this now? Because I missed the beginning.
I will promise you no later than Tuesday, I'll have it live. This new one.
So there, we can't log into Siri.
Yeah, no, you can log into CRE Marketing Hub now.
It has you, I sent an email, but it has you like signing up to pay. I'm just
Okay, hold on 1 second, Maureen. Hey, Sarah, after we hang up here, can you immediately give Maureen Caldwell a phone call, help her get set up with CRE Marketing Hub? And so my assistant's going to call you, Maureen, make sure that you have full access.
Okay.
And then, yeah, practice a little bit. She can also help you with the getting started type discussion. The big thing is,
while you're there, Mark, someone was asking about where do you find that my mentor. So it looks like you're going there just to show where you find that.
Yeah. So you go to your AI assistants because we have a library of different GPTs we're building and expanding on. Each one of these is like for the planning side, you're going to want to be here. For the deal side, which is where I'm in, you can see we have a number of different GPTs. Here, I just go into my CRE marketing. So the deal coach and then CRE mentor 2. This is going to be replaced with the new one that just built and continue to expand on. And so you go in here and just have your way. But Sarah will help you make sure you're all connected, you're logged into your GPT as well as our stuff. And as you're doing your business planning, you are definitely going to want to do three things. Where did it go? Hold on.
So Mark, I've got on my phone, it has my CRE Mentor, my CRE Mentor Pro, my CRE Marketing Coach, and then Explore GPTs.
Right.
Okay.
And they'll continue to, yeah, as you've logged into CRE, they'll continue to, as soon as you've authenticated to your GPT, they'll synchronize on both sides like that. Particularly as I think you have to use it at least once for it to synchronize over on each GPT. Market trends. So this one, the CRE Market Trends Expert, why am I drawing your attention? So find that in the list and do CRE Market Trends. Get a picture of what's going on in your market as part of the planning. From that, this is what I am able to do. So if you have a comp data set, if your general, your sale and your lease comps, export it from RealNex and upload it over here. In the future, hopefully you're not going to need to do that when the integration's done. But upload your data set and I'll show you the outputs. I'm going to show you on the market trends one. There's a couple of fun things that I've done on that side. Where's the search here? Okay, let's look at this one. And I did this on a previous model. So I just wanted it to create a branded report for this example. So I chose KW and look at what's coming out. So this could be you, it could be firm A, B, C, D. You're able to quickly bring all of the analysis together into a form that, let me see if I have it here. The management discussion. I wanted it to go right into a publishable. This is what I'm pointing to. So prepared for, where's my prompt? That was at top. So this is what was generated, immediately publishable. So I can also create an update out to my clients and prospects to, again, establish me and my expertise. And you always have to interrogate the data, yes, and I always tell it to make sure to include the sources with the info so I can make sure that everything is proper. But I generated 2 different output reports from that. But what you really want, review your existing listings and get your sale lease comps and property information that you can load up here so that you can next once you've uploaded your data, what's going on. So here's the transaction analysis that is being generated. tells me where the market's moving. Geographic trend analysis. And if I want to go into expansion mode, where I need to focus. And when you're using data, you immunize yourselves from being emotive. I see a lot of folks, I do it myself. I follow that, hey, I'm going to focus over there because they have a marina and I like marinas and I like to go fishing once in a while, but is that the best place to focus my business efforts? Maybe not. And so using data, this tells you exactly where the market is, where it's going, who the ideal prospects are. If I want to recruit other agents to join my team, which ones and why. And actually it will be down to the name. Let me get to it. Yeah. Down to the name. Who are the top brokers to target for expansion? Ding, ding, ding. Gives me names. And so take a look at your business plan. Run it through and analyze what's going on in your market and where your greatest opportunities are and how to take advantage of them. Hank was on the call earlier. I don't know if he still is, but I was trying to prepare for him in the event that he was, because he had asked me a question when we were together in Pennsylvania at an event. And he's industrial specialist, HOMA, and he wants to grow. And he gave me no data other than the prompt at the top, and he wants to grow. And look at the blueprint that it's laying out for him. Where the focus is, and it's sourcing the information for me, where to go and prioritize, concentrate the use of his time to get to his destination. And it lays it out week by week. And there's nothing better than having a deliberate schedule that's measurable, that if I do it, I have a high probability of succeeding. And so my purpose of today was, let's make 2026 the best you've ever had and could have imagined having in this business. Hopefully this was a good session for everybody, with some great recommended use cases. Next week, I'm going to focus on outputs. And if any of you have a specific use case that you want me to develop out for you, make sure you get that to me, send it to me, copy my assistant, Sarah Perez. Her email is SPEREZ@realnex.com, and let her know you'd like me to put some rigor around a use case, and I'll try to incorporate that next week. And working with Jeff Fisher, and with the release of the new pro version of Mentor, I'll probably show you some really cool expansion of the capabilities that I didn't reveal today. I asked for one thing: if all of you can put something up on LinkedIn and help me get the word out for some of this. Put it out for people that aren't competing with you. Put it out to people you like and want to help them be successful too. Whatever, help me get the word out on this. I think it can be transformative. The AI is not going to put you out of business. It will if you don't use it. It's going to help you win business. It's going to make you a much better consultant and advisor. And I'll do everything I can to help on that journey. We are putting a workshop program, and we're hosting it in Houston. When is it, Jeff? The 5th and 6th?
February 5th and 6th, correct.
It's not free, but it is going to be extremely high value. Instead of just sitting for an hour on a phone call, this is going to be lab format, where we're kind of capping it at 75 people. So when it fills, it fills.
When did you come out with the date? Because I know the last time that we were talking, you didn't know it was going to be sometime that week, but you weren't sure yet.
Yeah, today.
Oh,
So we're
okay,
waiting
great.
for the hotel to confirm it back with us and make sure that everything. So yeah, today it's going to be at the Marriott Sugarland Town Center, and all presenters have confirmed, and kind of the leaders. For those who were on the previous calls, I'm bringing some of the best people in the world in to help facilitate. We're going to organize the room by the different specializations, investment sales, tenant rep, leasing. Going to try to organize some specialization, product type focus as well, and then go through business analysis and marketing and prospecting. This is going to be a working session, not didactic, where we're sitting in front of you talking. It's about you being in the room, having the right people to work with you and through the different applications of this, and also solving things. New things are going to come up, and then also an opportunity for you to see what's coming and likely to cause a next evolution of use of the AI for your business. It's going to be, for me, it's pretty exciting. I hope it will be for you. Jeff is sending out registration and information Monday, Jeff, or Tuesday?
Yeah, Tuesday at the latest. So we should have
Okay.
some announcements out on Monday and then the registration out on Tuesday.
Yeah. So we have a date, we have a facility, we have confirmation of the participant, facilitators and presenters, and I'm still tuning some of the topical workflow, but it's going to be one of those things where you actually, when you leave after 2 days, you're going to use this like a pro and go home and you're going to have the advantage. So I look forward to any of you that participate in that. Next week again, a couple new use cases, but primary focus is how to take what's here, two parts, what's here into the outputs you want to use. And I think I've added to it how to take what you have somewhere else and bring it in functionally to use it to drive what you saw today. So thank you everybody for your participation. Greater appreciation if you let other people know and just put out some talking points on LinkedIn for us. Really appreciate it.
Hey, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
You're the best.
How
Thank
much
you. Thank you so much.
is it for us VIP people that, have already signed up for CRE and have paid that and everything else?
Yeah, for those who are CRE already and RealNex, you have first come, first serve. We're not just, I have a feeling the demand's going to be quite a bit in excess of the 75, but we're going to do our best to kind of cap there. You're going to have first access. I'm not trying to get rich on doing workshops. Jeff, I have no problem talking. I'm just trying to cover the cost of bringing
We set it up
experts in.
$497 for the early bird and we extended the early bird to the end of the month. So
yeah, so I'm trying to make sure y'all have nice lunch, your midday breaks, and I get the best speakers in the room and facilitators in the room. So when you walk out, you're second to none. And
Okay.
it's not going to pay my my gas bill from my house to the office. This really is about you, period. Yeah.
No, and I can say, I know for me, I really appreciate it and appreciate the opportunity. I cleared a couple other trips off for that entire week because I didn't know for sure which days it was going to be. So I was just waiting to find out so that I could start, booking my reservations. So.
Yeah, and for those of you who are also listening too, I've also cleared my week. And so for those who actually come in early and want to get some one-on-one time, once you're in the kind of group facilitation environment, that's one thing. But there's a couple said, hey, Mark, if I come in early, can a couple of us get some, more deliberate time? Maybe there's some things they don't want to share in front of the whole group in terms of either their business or analytic. Great. I'll make the time. I've also blocked out my Saturday for some what I call extra credit. I really want this to work for all of you.
Great, appreciate that.
All right. Everybody, thank you. Hope this is a good start to your new year. Look forward to next week and to be continued.
Great
Thank you.
weekend.
Mark,
Yeah.
go Hoosiers.
Oh.
Big game tonight.
Oh, my heart. I may not survive to next Friday.
Talk to you later. Okay.
Bye. Oh, wow.